those things where we answer like
Yeah,
questions and stuff?
yeah. And then they're pretty short. We might do 2 of them, but we'll see. We'll see how you guys are feeling after this one. Sav, if you can't see anything when you're skiing down the hill,
skiing down the hill?
What?
watch this later. Or if I'm talking and you guys are kind of watching Savvy, if you see her wipe out, yell at me so I can watch too.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Kendall, great.
Can we
First
watch a
girl to
funny
hit
video?
100 hours in technique. Good
Savannah did
job,
100
Kendall.
hours already?
Well, and Savvy did too, but that was last year. So good job. I know actually I've got a couple texts from you guys about okay, now I'm muted. I've got a couple texts from you guys from different people about how difficult it is to stay motivated with it. And I get it. Again, just do what you can. And sometimes if you're doing it every day, it gets boring and monotonous. Take a couple days off.
Wait,
Take some time off. Well,
Wait, Kendall, what do you do
that's how
in technique? Like
Dutch,
fundamental.
if you lose your streak and that's important to you, then obviously you won't take the time off. But if you're not feeling it and your training is suffering and you don't feel as sharp when you're doing it, take some time off. Training streak is nice, but it's more important that you do quality work when you do it. And again, I've talked to Liv plenty of times. I see her doing your technique and she's kind of walking through the motions. I'm like, Liv, that's not really helping you. But I got to get my streak. Oh, okay.
I do gotta get my streak, except it's ruined, so there's no point.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple modules. Dutchie, did you have a question?
About Kenny's training.
Yeah, like Kenny, what do you do like on technique, the weekly stuff, or do you do like fundamentals or like living room stuff?
I just repeat this stuff over and over again. I have like 30 minutes on every little thing.
Oh, wow.
If you guys do the time trials, does that count as training?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Okay, because that might
But the
be
thing is-
something to kind of keep things a little fresh too.
But those take so much energy. It feels like you're doing 3 minutes, but it's only 1 minute. So,
Which means that you're not doing the other stuff right. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be working as fast as you're working in the time trials, and that's hard. You know what I'm saying, Dutch? So that's a good key. If you feel the time trials are super difficult, then you need to step up how you're training on the other parts of it. Okay. And again, hey, we're all getting used to it. You're only a month and a half or 5 weeks into it. So
it feels like it's been more.
Again, and some of you are sick of it already, and some of you, but you know, like some of the 06s have been doing it for 2 years, 3 years. And you can tell with some of them, you can tell how technically confident they are on the ball. So it helps. Okay. All right. So we're going to go through at least one of these modules. I'm going to start with the one on playing into and off of a forward. Okay. Hopefully you can all see my screen. If you have any questions, feel free to, I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe I won't make it full screen just so I can see you guys. I'm sharing my screen. We're going to watch.
Welcome to Module 6, playing into and off of a forward. In this module, we will learn the correct times to play into the forward's feet versus playing into space. Then, we will learn the proper way to play off of the forward as they receive it. The first and most important point is that the passer and the forward communicate and get on the same page. Here, we can see that this highlighted forward does not look ready to receive the ball to his feet, and the result is a loss of possession. The second thing to look for when playing into a forward is whether or not they have space in front of them to receive the ball. Here, we see the ball played into the forward, who has all of this space to receive it, allowing him the time to make a good decision, as well as the space for his teammates to provide supporting options. Once the forward is ready to receive it, with space in front to do so, we move on to the third piece, which involves the midfielders creating good supporting angles to provide options to the forward receiving the ball. As the white team plays a ball into their forward, we see this player caught sleeping, as he should be in this space, away from his defender, ready to receive the layoff from the forward. Because he is not in a good supporting position, the white team struggles to maintain possession. Now let's see what happens when the players are on the same page. There's space for the forward to receive it, and the midfield provides support.
Phones down.
As the white team wins possession, we can see the forward, here, asking for the ball into his feet. We can also see all of the space that he has in front of him to receive it. As he receives it, we see this midfielder has moved into a good supporting position. As we can see, when executed correctly, playing into the forward's feet can be very dangerous. Please move on to the lesson to work through some scenarios yourself.
Wait, so we're working. So it's a little blurry for me, and the hearing's a little blurry. So we're working on not putting it into space, but getting it into your feet.
Both.
Into forward's feet. Yes. This one is
Okay.
playing into and connecting with and playing off of or connecting with the forward. So it's not really the runs over the top that we talked about last time. This is more trying to find their feet and then how our midfielders can open up to get the ball.
Yeah,
Okay.
you want to
Okay, thanks.
also have them to have space.
Yes, absolutely.
As we learned, the best time to play into the forward's feet is when they have space. Here, we see this large gap between the back line and the midfield line. This tells us that our forward has space to receive the ball. As the ball is played into the forward, let's take a look at the midfielders who are supporting the forward. Their positioning should be decided by the position of the defenders. As we see here, when the defenders slide into this position, space here is left open for the midfielder to support the forward. Recognizing this, the player slides into the correct position and receives the ball. Let's try this for ourselves. As the ball is played into the forward, the defenders position themselves as seen. Which player is in a better position to support the forward?
A.
I would agree.
A.
Correct. Which position should the player choose?
A.
A.
Correct. Sliding here, the player has space to receive it. Before moving on to some more scenarios, let's go over a couple more key points: the importance of timing and recognizing moments to run through. First, let's look at the importance of timing. As the ball is played in, we can see that this player is already caught forward, and now must either stop in place to provide support, in which case he will likely be picked up by a defender, or continue forward and have no space to receive it in front of this defender. To avoid this, midfielders can move laterally, off the shoulders of their marks, to confuse them and to delay their supporting runs. Here, we see the player shifting this way for a moment, confusing the defender and buying himself half a second, which, as we see, allows him to receive the support pass in stride. Now let's learn how to recognize moments when running through might be better than providing support, which again should be decided based on the positioning of the defenders. Sometimes the defender will cheat in an effort to cut off the support pass. If they slide up here, space opens up here behind the defender for the midfielder to exploit. It's important to be aware of that as a supporting midfielder, as it may often lead to an opportunity on goal. Now let's finish up with a couple of different scenarios. Here we see the ball with this highlighted player for the white team. Realizing that the forward here has space to receive it, he will play an entry ball into the forward's feet. As he does so, keep your eye on this player. He recognizes that this space is open for a supporting angle, but also realizes that he needs to lose his defender as well as slow down the timing of his run so that he does not overrun the support pass. Given what we learned a moment ago, where should the player make his initial movement if he wants to receive the ball in space?
Liv says
Wait.
A.
Wait, who has the
A.
ball?
I think A.
So the ball
A.
went
A.
from
'Cause if
this
you went B,
player
you just
into
I
the
think A.
forward.
defenders.
Okay, hang on. This ball went into the forward, and the forward wants to play into this space. So the question is, where should the midfielder move to get the ball into this space? Where should he move first? Or she move?
B.
B.
He should move first and then go to A.
Who's the defender?
Oh, yeah,
Rich,
Yep.
the
So the
spot?
movement's got to be here first to take the defender if you want the ball here. And this is where you got to kind of think at different levels when you're playing soccer. If you can make a decision to know where you want the ball from a teammate, can you get to a level where you can understand you want the ball there, but take your defender a different way first? So that's a different level of play. Not just, oh, I want the ball there, I got to run there. No, it's I want the ball there. How do I get my defender not to be there? Okay, that's kind of the next level of what we're doing. So yeah, the answer is B.
Correct. By moving here, we can see that the player moves off of the back shoulder of the defender, confusing him for a moment and buying himself half a second so that he does not overrun the ball, but rather receives it in his stride. Let's move on to the last scenario. This time, the ball is played into the forward and the defender slides into this position to try and intercept the support pass. Where should the forward make his run?
B.
B.
Clear B.
B,
Correct.
yeah, B.
It is too crowded in this area, and the team would likely lose possession. The player should choose this option because the defender has been pulled out of position, leaving dangerous space behind to attack the goal. Before moving on to the quiz, please review what you have learned in this lesson.
Okay, so again, we'll review together. Again, when they say the forward and the passer must be on the same page, that means that it's communicating, right? Visual and verbal and visual communication. If your teammate's head's down, it's not like she's not looking to pass. If she's got the ball under control with time and space and she's got her head up, now she's looking to pass, and that's your key to start moving. Okay, forward should have space between the back line and the midfield line. That's that gap or that hole. So when you want to find that ball in that hole, that's what we're talking about. For forwards, we don't want to leave our forwards stranded. They need to have support options. And it says style of play and team strategy are big factors in when and how often to play into the forward's feet. And again, we want to be unpredictable. We want to mix it up. We don't always want to play long balls. We don't never want to play long balls over the top. We got to mix it up. Okay. When you're talking about providing support to the forward, again, the timing is important. You don't want to get there too early and then have the pass come behind you. That's what he's talking about when he's talking about overrunning it. So sometimes you might have to slow your run down so that you leave a cushion and a gap and some space where you can get the ball. Okay, where you provide the support should be dictated largely by the positioning of the defenders. If Liv's defending me here, I probably want to try to find the ball here. Okay, and you can use small movements or running off the shoulder, maybe trying to get the defender to turn around by running on their blind side to try to lose them. And again, this is all next level stuff. I don't expect us to be able to do all of this now. Yes, we should be able to find our forwards' feet. Yes, we want to be able to play from our forwards and our midfielders, and our midfielders should start to be aware now of opening up. But now it's taking it to another level. All right. How can you open up by losing a defender? How can you make sure you're not there too early? If the defender tries to cheat and step, can you recognize that and can you get into the space behind? That's all the stuff that we're looking at getting to. Make sense? Any questions? Okay. Do one more. Whoops. Well, we're not going to do
Welcome to Module 7, Movement off of the ball. In a typical match, a player will usually be in possession of the ball for no more than about 90 seconds. So the way you move when you don't...
You guys hear that? And that's high. I think that's even high. But he says in a whole match, you might have the ball for a minute and a half total. Just think about that. So most of your
Isn't that really long?
that's not long at all. When you think about a 90-minute match, or 80 minutes in our case, having the ball 1% of the time, or 2% of the whole time isn't a lot. Okay, so most of the game is played without the ball.
Don't have the ball is extremely important. This module will teach you how to use your movement off of the ball to create space for your teammates, and also how to create space for yourself. Let's see some examples of good movement. As the highlighted player in possession drives forward, keep your eye on this attacking player. He continues his run in this direction in order to drag defenders with him, which creates a great opportunity for a through ball here. At no point does the player intend nor expect to receive the ball. Instead, he is purposeful in the way that he moves to open up space for his teammate.
And again, that's another next level. All right. We're just right now, when we move to try to get the ball. The next level is moving to let Livy get the ball. Okay. Or moving to let a teammate get the ball. That's, again, another level.
This time, keep your eye on the highlighted forward. Rather than trying to force a through run or check into space already occupied by his teammate, he continues to drift into this area. In doing so, the defender stays with him, and this player for the blue team can receive it with loads of space to turn. This time, the white team receives the ball off a clearance. Let's watch this player. Rather than moving here into more open space, the player realizes that his teammate here is wide open in that space. The player remains in place, even moving a few steps into the more crowded area to continue to pull defenders away from his teammate, which ultimately creates a scoring chance.
Takes awareness of where your
that
teammates
real
are.
In this last example, we will see how a player can also use movement to open up space for themselves. The ball is with this player. As he plays a long switch across the field, keep your eye on the highlighted attacker. Currently, the player is in the line of vision of his defender, but before he plans to check to receive the ball, he drifts in behind the defender, as we see here, before making a few quick hard steps back to check to the ball. By doing this, the defender loses track of his location, and he finds himself with a few yards of separation to receive the ball and turn with it. Now that you've seen some examples of how you can move off the ball to create space for yourself and for your team.
And then how many evals that I did with you guys in the fall did I talk about? All you need is a yard or two of more of space to be able to really make something good happen, right? And putting yourself in smart space, taking your defender one way, getting to the other way quickly to just bide yourself a little bit of time.
Teammates, move on to the lesson for a chance to try these in action. Now let's work through what you learned in the video. Let's start with a
5
simple
minutes,
one.
ladies, and we're done. Okay?
The highlighted player has the ball, and the forwards for the blue team notice that space here is open. If forward number 1 wants to make a run into that space, where should forward number 2 move?
A.
Defender back so that
Okay.
number 1.
A.
Makes sense? This forward wants to go to A to leave the blue space open.
Correct. By sliding here, the forward drags the defender out, opening up even more space for this run. Recognizing the space, the forward runs through and receives the ball. Equally important,
Did Savvy wipe out and lose her connection?
She's been out for a while.
I know. Just kidding.
to the movement of the player creating space, the runner must understand how to read cues. In this case, the forward should notice that the other forward is checking to the ball, opening up space out here. If you are the player making the run, you should begin your run right as your teammate is checking to the ball, as we see here. This makes it more difficult for the defenders to decide what to do, and helps you receive the ball in space. You can also use your movement to create space for your teammates to dribble into. As the highlighted player drives forward, the forward for the blue team wants to create space for his teammate to dribble into here. Where should he move in order to do this?
Wait, so what player is trying to go where?
So that guy has the ball. I'm confused.
This guy has the ball. And he's trying to go this way.
Oh.
He
So
should
it's
go B.
asking you, where should this player move?
Is he trying to
B.
dribble or pass
I
it
think
out?
B.
Dribble.
I think B.
B.
To take the defenders, both of them.
B.
B.
Bye.
But
B.
I'm not passing. I'm
Correct. Had the player chosen this option, the highlighted defender would have, at most, moved a few steps this way in order to stay goal side of the forward, not really clearing any space for the dribbler. With the better option, we notice that the forward runs in front of the defender. This keeps the player onside and ensures that the defender sees the forward, increasing the chances that he follows him, ultimately clearing the space. Another benefit of that choice is that by dragging the defenders towards the pressuring defender, the forward creates confusion, as we see this defender, for a split second, choosing to follow the runner. This time, the ball is with this player. As the player dribbles forward, he notices the forward moving this direction. Is that a cue for him to dribble this way or this way?
B.
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 Correct.
B.
Because this player has run across the face of his defender and dragged him out of position, the player with the ball should take advantage of the space left open, here. As we learned in the video, you can also move off the ball in order to create space for yourself. As the highlighted player dribbles forward, the blue attacker, here, wants to open up space for a run into this area. Where should the player make his initial movement in order to create space in behind?
I think B.
B.
Yeah,
B.
B. B.
Bye.
B.
Correct.
B.
By sliding here, the player drags his defender back towards the ball before peeling out and running into the newly opened space to receive the through ball. The highlighted player has possession. As the ball is circulated around by the defenders, the midfielder for the blue team, here, wants to receive it in this space. Specifically, he wants to receive the ball in that area with enough time and space to turn with it.
B.
Which movement will best accomplish this?
B. Wait,
A.
what does he want to do?
A.
He wants to go there first.
A bended run.
He wants enough time.
What do you guys think?
He wants enough time.
A.
and space.
A.
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 Or well, wait. So
Ah.
I was gonna say because then he could have taken his defender and then led him to the
So
other.
again, understand he wants the ball here. So again, yeah, there's a bended run here, but what's going to give him more time?
B.
That or going away and then
Going
checking
away.
back. Yeah, going
Going
away
away.
and checking back. Okay.
Ah.
Don't be lemmings. Think for yourself.
Correct. Had the player chosen this option, he may have been able to receive it, but the defender most likely would have remained tight to him, not allowing the player to turn with the ball. Here we see the better option. By starting in the defender's line of sight and slowly drifting to the player's back shoulder, the midfielder successfully drags the defender out of position and creates enough space to receive the ball on the turn. Before moving on to the quiz, here is a quick review of what we have learned.
All right. Constantly be aware of the
I
location
just bit
of-
my tongue.
Constantly be aware of the location of your teammates, the opposing team, yourself, and the ball. Again, I tell you this all the time. Gotta have your head on a swivel. You gotta see the ball. You gotta see your teammates. Gotta see the open space. Gotta see the boundaries. Gotta see all that stuff. Work and communicate with your teammates frequently so they understand how to read your movement and vice versa. That happens the more we train together, the more you start to pick up, Liv, the more you start to pick up people's mannerisms. When is Bean going to cap the ball, or when is she going to pass the ball? When is Maddie going to kick the ball long, or when is she going to look to play short? You know, you're going to be able to pick that up the more that you play and you train with each other. Don't be lazy. If you stay disciplined, even the smallest movements off the ball can create space and opportunities for you and your teammates. That's huge right there. Olivia?
I was putting it back.
Lazy players are exactly that, and they have no room on a high level team. Okay, you want the kids, coaches want the kids that are going to work for themselves and work hard for themselves and work just as hard for their teammates to create space. If I see that Ainsley at right back has got tons of space, I might take my defender inside so she's got more space. Okay, it's realizing stuff like that. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are these helpful
Yeah.
to you?
And can we have a funny video?
No. Are these helpful to you? Yes or no?
Yeah, they actually are
waste of
really
time.
helpful.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Except then the
Yeah.
quizzes are kind of easy once you've learned everything.
Exactly. Yeah, this isn't like the SAT, right? This isn't supposed to stump you guys. These are short, they're relatively concise, but there's a lot of information in them. And the more that you guys hear it and the more you guys start to absorb this stuff, the better soccer players are going to be once we get outside. Okay. And again, we're looking forward to what? We're a week away from getting back together, which is great. But now there's this new strain of COVID that starts in Colorado that's supposed to be more contagious. Who knows, right? Who knows? But we're planning on,
Wait, a different sickness?
yes.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I don't know for sure. They say it's a variation of the COVID or of the current virus.
And it's more infectious.
Yeah, it's more contagious, but again, we don't know yet.
You touch
We don't know
someone,
yet.
they have.
So like it's like burn 3. Like
What?
never mind.
What in the world?
Okay, permamute.
No, like
All right. So, anyone from the US originally have any questions? I'm just kidding, Dutch.
That is interesting. Ainsley, you want to show us your TikTok video?
I don't have it. I have it on my phone. Livy showed me. So if Ainsley gives me the green light, we'll share some of Ainsley's
Corbett.
videos.
Ainsley, you want the green light? Are you gonna give it the green light?
Sure, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, she said yes.
Yeah, but I don't have it.
Yeah,
It's on my phone.
yeah,
It's not on the computer.
show. Just like stick it up to.
Oh, I don't think I can do that very well.
Yeah. Show.
I don't think
shower.
I don't think this will work
There
that
it is.
well.
It will just show us. I saw that one. You were in the car, right?
Cut the check. What is it?
Ainsley's got some moves.
Yeah.
All right.
We're literally gonna block you so you don't send any of my TikToks.
I want to see them so that we can all laugh together. That's what's so great about it. Okay. Have a happy new year. We will see you in 2021. We're hoping that it's a much better year for a lot of different accounts. Hopefully
Account?
coming out of this pause and play, and hopefully you think you're a better player, either intellectually or physically, technically. Hopefully we talked about wanting to be a better player than when we went into this COVID break, coming out of it. So hopefully you guys feel that way. I know a couple of you trooped out your runs this weekend. It was tough. I know the roads are slippery. If you don't have treadmills and stuff, hey, running's tough. They said, and
I found a way you can.
Dutch. They said when I was at the professional level, they said we ran 8 miles a match, average in a game. Okay. But my coach would say, go run a mile. And I'd be like, put a ball in front of me, I could run forever. Tell me to go run on a road, and I couldn't do it very well. Okay. So, and you may be the same way, but I wasn't looking back at it, I wasn't very strong mentally. Running, you can all run, but running distance takes mental strength that I wasn't very good at as a player. I'm admitting it, right? Some of you probably aren't very good at it at this point. You can get better. Some of you are studs at it. Some of you can, which is great. And every team has those handful of kids that can just run wherever and love it. They always talk about getting that runner's high and really feeling good. I don't think I've experienced it because I just don't like running on a road. I just don't like running. Okay.
Running's fun.
But I wish I was better at that. So hopefully I'm trying to impart on you guys at a young age that this is going to be better for you in your careers. So I know it's not easy, but once you, and even I found this too, once you get it out and you start going, you feel good when you're done. You feel good when you're done. It's tough to get to that point. Okay, Liv?
I'm not doing anything.
Okay. Dutchie, question.
Oh gosh.
Well, it's a comment. So I like once kind of made a treadmill. So like you go on ice and then you run, but you don't go anywhere. So it's a treadmill.
Genius.
Get it?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. And then another thing is, so if you don't like running, just go to a soccer field so it feels like you're playing soccer and put a soccer ball in front of you
There you go.
and run back and forth.
What's
There you go.
happening? Homemade treadmill.
Bean, question.
Did you get my dad's email?
I did. Yep. So it looks like you're going to be back with us at the end of January, so that's good. That's good. I know it's always, and Dutch has gone through it. Liv went through it with
2 months. 2 months.
it's tough to go through an injury, and Bean just got super lucky that it happened at the shutdown time. It's
It's not
pretty fortunate.
on your day.
Hey, Mark.
But hey, ladies, knock on wood, but you're all going to go through injuries. It's tough to feel part of the team when ask Dutch. She rarely feels part of the team anyway, because not many of us like her. But when she's injured and she's not there, then she even feels like less liked. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, Mark.
You're
Dutchie, I'm just kidding. You are my favorite 12-year-old from Holland.
Yeah, everyone heard that. I'm his
Yes,
favorite.
Maddie.
Do you want
Hang
me
on.
to send the TikToks to Liv or you? What one? Like,
Send
I have
me-
some funny ones. I have that draft from like 2 years ago with Sienna, that Old Town Road one.
Yeah, send me, especially if you find Kendall when she's like 4 years old.
Oh yeah, I can
Let
look.
it
I can look
go.
deep into that.
What?
I have some really old ones with Glenn.
Can I
from,
do
like,
the
4
one where
years
me
ago.
and you were doing weird
Okay.
things in like Chicago, and then you zoom in on Peyton's face?
Well, when we were younger, it wasn't called TikTok. It was called Musically.
That was
Like,
like
talk more about
5
that
years ago.
treadmill,
still.
Dutch.
Yeah, Dutch, go run on your treadmill, Dutch.
Yeah.
Don't forget your helmet. Okay.
Okay.
Good job. See you guys later.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're welcome.
bye. Thanks.
You're welcome.
How do I draw? Wait,
You
hold
don't.
on. I want to draw. Hold
Bye.
Oh, bye, Claire. See ya.
on. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna draw. Oh, okay, never mind. I want to draw.
Dork.
I want to draw. With Dutch, that was really
Stop
funny.
share and.